This is how we ride. This is how we do.
But there was an interesting story around this whole discussion about Larson and Bell not being there and the impacts of it, and it was on racingamerica.com. The absence of Bell, Larson is felt, but Chili Bowl keeps rolling. And it was done by Matt Weaver. So Matt Weaver with this story here. And I feel like the problem with stories is almost like some of the problems with videos or YouTube is you have to make some kind of thing that makes people want to click your story to read it or your video to watch it. But it seems like most people don't read. You know, I've went to video because I've realized that people don't read in today's society. And if I have a message that I want to spread in today's society, I move to the evolved version of communication, which is video and voice-based. And if the internet ever chooses to go away, which is something that has been invented since I was alive, if it ever decides to go away, everything that I've done here on video and everything you're seeing in this article that's not written on paper is gone. But I outside of that situation that is plausible in many scary ways, if you think about it, I don't think people read it all. Because this story that is put out here by Matt Weaver has a lot of good, juicy details in it. And I think that people read the headline. You go over here and you look at the actual post on Facebook. And the people in here, I literally put a comment. No one read this story from start to finish, did they? Because it's just a bunch of people joke 10K to win, 400 cars. If you want to read and you want to be fast, just go to quotes. I like doing that. You see some of these articles that are posted like on Racing America. Sometimes you don't want to read this whole every single word deal. Go to quotes. It's a very short story, but it's a very good one. So go check it out. If after this, go subscribe, pay attention to Racing America because this is some good stuff right here. But Tanner Thorson says here, I don't want to say too much and burn any bridges, but I'm here. I'm a little bit sour about it, to be honest. I wish those guys were here. I have a really good race car again, and I want to race the best. And if the best are supposed to be here, why aren't they? It's talking about Larson and Bell, winner of 5 of the past 6 races before Thorson broke through last year. So we're so lucky that Tanner Thorson won last year because anyone who wins this year, unfortunately in the dirt racing world, they don't understand how Larson and Bell are just as talented as probably at least 30% of the dirt racing world. I mean, Larson's getting his ass handed to him in late model. So all these dirt racers are just as talented as Larson and Bell. They just didn't get the opportunities or doors opened or went in the back room with the old rich businessman to be advanced in the world into the NASCAR Cup scene. So anyway, we're so lucky that Tanner Thorson won last year and not this year, because at least his win last year had credibility in beating Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, because anyone who wins it this year, the majority of this Co-Trickle fan base is just going to say, well, the Co-Trickles weren't here, so y'all suck anyway. They're bigger than y'all. They're in the NFL. They're in the pro. Y'all are just a bunch of AAA people playing, and you're lucky that they've been coming here and giving y'all a challenge so that you can even have the opportunity to beat their ass. Because, y'all should raise y'all's pay, and that's why they're not here. But anyway, that's the truth. That's the sad truth of the situation. People don't understand this stuff. I've been fighting for it. Y'all fight me, and nobody helps and gathers and tells the world how great our dirt racers are because you're more concerned with fighting people who talk against your icon. You're more so standing for your tribalism. It also goes on to explain here, though, for Larson especially, it's the continuation of a year-long point to prove about the purse of the race, which still pays 10,000 wins. Let's talk about the pay. Larson has been adamant that he believes the purse should pay more throughout the week. Now, some very interesting comments in here by Keith Kunz. And it sounds like he went after Kyle Larson just a little bit. It says right here that Keith said, it's kind of a mess. Christopher, there are some other reasons he's not here. He's gotten drug into it. He's not boycotting this place like Kyle is. Kyle's forgotten where he's come from. Same guys are going to be up front, Buddy, Thorson, and Justin Grant. It's a good field of cards. So Keith Kunz literally is quoted here in saying Kyle Larson has forgotten where he's come from. It goes on to talk about, to that point, it's hard to imagine Bell not having ultimately raced his hometown dream event if it was entirely up to him. It's no secret that Joe Gibbs Racing has grown hesitant of his drivers racing open-wheel cars again in the aftermath of the DJ Vanderlei incident at the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track. And, of course, if you don't know about that situation, that is a situation where an engineer for Joe Gibbs Racing was racing a micro at the Texas Motor Speedway little dirt track, not the big one, and got hurt and, kind of damaged an asset for Joe Gibbs Racing, a person on the payroll. Bell did say in July that he absolutely wouldn't be back if the purse didn't improve, but the purse has improved, even if not what it pays as a baseline to the winner. So the purse has increased. But we got some more quotes here from Keith. Christopher is at the point of his career in NASCAR to where he is such a valuable asset for their team, and Joe Gibbs Racing is protecting their assets. It also says, here comes the comments from Hahn. When he turned his attention back to Larson. And Hahn says, I've got to say this, though. First, it was about it didn't pay enough. And then the story became it was about the guys in the back of the field. He continues here. He says he bought himself a jet plane, a $2.5 million motorhome, and if he really wanted to help these guys at the back of the field, he would. He has more to say down here. I just wish if Kyle was that mad about the purse that he would have called me. But listen, we've had $34,600 added to the purse this year. It still pays 10 to win, but it used to be $1,000 to start, and now it's $1,500 to start. We've added B feature money and to the C on back. Kunz chimed in. It's not about the purse here. That's right. Thorson says this is a very entertaining circle that's getting documented here. That's right. Keith says, "Oh, it ain't about the purse here." Tanner Thorson says, "Oh yeah, that's right. It's about everyone else out here." Keith said, "It was a big deal before Kyle and Christopher, and it's going to continue to be a big damn deal." Paraphrasing there. To Kunz's point, it's talking about how the event was famous somewhat on the Swindells' winning glories. It looks like they got some quotes here from Kevin. You don't think any less of it if you win. As a competitor, you want to beat everyone, but you've also seen people come and go over the years. It's just a part of it. They want to do something else for a while, so be it. Also get some quotes here from Rico. I don't think anyone looks at it any different. I look at it as the Chili Bowl. The 2 years I won, they were here. They were up front, and things happened. Now they've gone a different direction, and it's a chance for someone else to build a legacy and win this race. Really, I just think about how impressive their streets were, that they were top 5 here every year, no matter what the circumstances were. I really respect that, but this race will create opportunities for someone else to establish their legacy too. And Emmett Hahn ended this situation with saying Kyle said he's going to be back. Thorson fires back, "Where's he parking?" Hahn said, "Not where you are." He fired back with a laugh, and then Thorson said, "That's what I want to hear. Got to protect my spot." So this was a very interesting story interaction that happened at the press conference. And, man, Keith getting a little, Keith getting a little brave there. But shooting some off there at Kyle a little bit. He forgot where he's come from. Wow. Some big words from a big man. I feel like I'm in, Rocky. But this is a very interesting story, and obviously, as cited, they have added money, $34,000, might as well say $35,000 to the purse. I'm still in agreement with Kyle that it should still pay more than that. $1,500 to start is a very respectable to start money situation. I mean, even though the million is $6,000 to start and Knoxville Nationals is $10,000 to start, all these other marquee events, Eldora, World 100s, North and South. I mean, all these things pay more than this Chili Bowl. That people apparently want to spend, $10,000 or $15,000 to rent out a midget to compete in. So I'm still, in my opinion, I'm still leaning on the Kyle Larson side of things. It could still pay more than $10,000 to win it. It could pay more than $1,500 to start. That's where I stand. I still stand that way. I do appreciate that they put the $34,000, $35,000 little measly dollars that they got off of a 10% sponsorship from some new sponsor that wanted to sponsor some black. How much is it? I'm just saying. Everybody can look around the building and see all the money that's made. There's not a lot of stupid people out there that own race cars. They all know business. They all know taxes. They all know rents. They all know these things. Nobody is dumb in that building that owns race cars. That's the one biggest misconception is they think if you own a race car, you're just a redneck driving in circles. Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't know the last time you checked the price tag on some of these race cars. You can't just be some redneck. You got to have a 7-figure situation to think about having even an IMCA modified. At least a 6-figure one. And you got to be pretty damn smart. You got to be business savvy. You got to know your P's and your Q's and your this and your that's. Ain't nobody dumb. Kyle Larson's just saying I ain't dumb either. But I do think it was an interesting situation how Kyle Larson played the game. And I do like the shots here of Emmett Hahn saying he bought himself a jet plane, a $2.5 million motorhome, and if he really wanted to help these guys in the back of the field, he would. That's a jabber right there. And once again, I do feel bad that this year's winner, in the minds of the Lions, they know that they are the winner, and that if Kyle or Christopher were there, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. But in the eyes of the sheep, the pro-level players are not in the building. The pro-level guys, the next-level guys, the ones who graduated from our little AAA dirt racing network and went to the big leagues of NASCAR. Those guys aren't here. So that's why you won. So proud that guys like Rico and Thorson were very lucky to win while those guys were in the building. Because if it's some new name this year, besides one of those guys who've already beat them, it's just going to be looked at as an asterisk year. That's the year that Larson and Bell were in here, and that's why they won. It's unfortunate, and I don't believe that, but that's what people think. It ain't about what you know. It's about what you think. Because at the end of the day, you really don't know a damn thing. But that's why the freedom of thought is so important to protect.
This is how we ride. This is how we do.